Alright, before all the Ezio fans start celebrating and everyone else starts defending their favorite assassin, just hear me out. I know this is one of the biggest debates in Assassin's Creed history, but I genuinely think the franchise was never quite the same after Ezio Auditore. Now, before anyone misunderstands me, I'm not saying every assassin after Ezio was bad. Edward Kenway is one of my favorite protagonists. Bayek was phenomenal. Even characters like Connor, Arno, Jacob, Evie, Kassandra, and Eivor all have their own fan bases. This isn't about saying those characters failed. It's about asking one simple question. Why does every assassin still get compared to Ezio? Think about it. It's been well over a decade since Assassin's Creed Revelations ended, yet whenever Ubisoft introduces a new protagonist, one of the first comments you'll see is, he's good, but he's not Ezio. Why? What made Ezio so different? I think the biggest reason is something Ubisoft may never be able to recreate again. We didn't just play as Ezio. We grew up with him. In Assassin's Creed 2, we met him as a reckless teenager who cared more about fighting and flirting than becoming an assassin. Then we watched him lose his family. We watched him seek revenge. We watched him slowly mature into a leader. By the time Brotherhood came around, Ezio wasn't just chasing revenge anymore. He had become someone people looked up to. He was rebuilding the Brotherhood, mentoring new assassins, and carrying responsibilities that the younger Ezio would have never imagined. Then Revelations gave us something very few games ever do. It let us see a hero grow old. We watched Ezio question everything he had fought for. We saw him searching for answers instead of enemies. By the end of his journey, it genuinely felt like saying goodbye to someone we'd known for years. That's incredibly rare in gaming. Now compare that to most other Assassin's Creed protagonists. Edward only had one main game. Bayek only had one. Connor had one. Arno had one. Jacob and Evie shared one. Kassandra had one major adventure. Eva had one game, even if it was a very long one. Most of these characters never had enough time to evolve the way Ezio did. And I honestly think that's one of Ubisoft's biggest missed opportunities. Imagine if Bayek had received a full trilogy. Imagine seeing him evolve from the founder of the Hidden Ones into an older mentor. Or imagine Edward continuing his journey after Black Flag. I think fans would have become just as attached to those characters. Instead, Ubisoft kept introducing someone new every few years. That made it much harder for players to build the same emotional connection. But here's where the debate gets interesting. Was Ezio actually the best written assassin? Or is he simply the character we spend the most time with? Because if you really think about it, Bayek's story is incredible. His pain feels real. His relationship with Aya is heartbreaking. His performance is easily one of the strongest in the entire franchise. Edward probably has one of the best character transformations in Assassin's Creed history. He starts as someone chasing money and fame, but by the end of Black Flag, he's a completely different person who understands the cost of his choices. Even Connor gets more appreciation today than he did when Assassin's Creed 3 first launched. So maybe the problem isn't that Ubisoft created weaker characters. Maybe it's that they never gave those characters enough time. Another thing that changed after Ezio was the identity of the franchise itself. During the Ezio era, Assassin's Creed felt like one long story. Every game connected to the next. The modern-day storyline kept progressing. Desmond's journey mattered. There was always a feeling that everything was building towards something bigger. Today, Assassin's Creed feels different. The games are larger than ever. The worlds are beautiful. The gameplay keeps evolving. But sometimes it feels like each protagonist exists in their own separate chapter rather than being part of one unforgettable journey. Maybe that's why so many fans keep looking back at the Ezio trilogy. Not because it's perfect, but because it gave us something the series hasn't really repeated since. One hero, 3 games, one complete journey. Now, does that mean Assassin's Creed peaked with Ezio? I'm honestly not sure. Because Black Flag gave us one of the greatest pirate adventures ever made. Origins completely reinvented the franchise. And even newer games have millions of fans who love the RPG direction. But if you ask me which Assassin story I still think about years later, it's Ezio. Not because he's necessarily stronger, smarter, or cooler than everyone else, but because I had the chance to experience almost his entire life. Very few video game characters get that opportunity. And maybe that's why, No matter how many great assassins Ubisoft creates in the future, there will always be one question hanging over every new protagonist. Can they ever replace Ezio? So let me ask you this. Do you think Assassin's Creed truly peaked with Ezio? Or do you believe another assassin deserves that title today? I have a feeling this comment section is about to become one of the biggest Assassin's Creed debates on YouTube.